Hello guys, welcome to the True Zone podcast. This is a platform where we get to discuss issues affecting young people and of course, tunazipatia a biblical solution, and we are happy to be here once again. And today we want to discuss the topic of the do's and don'ts after breakups and separation. And today tumeleta mtu wa maana sana. He's a good friend of mine. Alikuwa hapa hivi, ilikuwa ni podcast episode I think 3. Ilikuwa 3, yeah. And she's a professional counselor who has been doing this job for 13 years and has interacted widely with young people. And tunajua atakama tupatie solutions na atakama tupatie some of the ideas that she has concerning this topic. Her name is Nyokabi Mbugua.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Tuliachana nawe kitambo sana. How have you been?
I'm good. Been well, been working, and I thank God for this one.
Kabisa.
Yes.
Counseling nakupeleka aje? Kwanza last year najua kazi imekuwa mingi sana.
It's my life, so I tend to just flow with it. I enjoy what I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Karibu sana
Asante.
to this podcast. Always happy to have you. And I believe today utasaidia young people.
I do.
Nataka tuonge the topic of breakups and separation. Breakups, ideally tunataka kukapcha wale young people when wamekuwa in messy relationships. Separation also the same thing, relationships, but also maybe that young person mwenye aliingia box, kakuwa married ama akaingia in a come stay situation, kaanza kuishi as husband and wife, na mwisho akaseparate. That person who is in that stage of ameacho ama ameachana. The do's and don'ts. So number 1, nataka tuongee story ya keeping in touch, because this is a common phrase ya watu wakiachana unakosana, mnakuwa kimoja. And you and I know that kuna kauongo kangine kana kuanga hapo.
Yeah.
Kenya ni common sana. So tuambie keeping in touch. Number 1, is it advisable after a breakup or a separation?
Wow. Now this is what I want to say. A
Yes.
relationship is something between two people.
Yeah.
And what kept that relationship going was something we call communication.
Yeah.
Then the rest now came in, feelings and actions. And so when they decide we do not want to go on like this, then communication has to die. So what you're asking me is, can they revive the communication?
Revive the communication, yes.
Yes. So if they're reviving the communication,
yeah.
Why? We have decided to stop relating.
Yes.
What used to keep us going was us talking, calling one another, spending time together, loving one another.
Yeah.
So why are we keeping touch?
Sinile tu kujuliana hali, au umeamka poa, unaendeleaje, kuwa na siku poa. Yani the
To
common,
be honest,
the basics.
Alex,
Yes.
if you keep in touch, from my experience and from the people I've worked with,
Yes.
keeping in touch might not help, especially in the first moment when that breakup has just happened. Keeping in touch might not really help you to be able to get out of it. If you really want to get out of the relationship, keeping in touch is not advisable in the beginning, to be honest. Because you'll still want to talk, because you are used to doing this. And maybe the relationship has been there for long, for months, for a year, for 2 years. Then we have cut this relationship because we do not want to be together again. We can't keep in touch. We will revive what was there. Yet we don't want that. So the best thing I would say, in the first instances, don't keep in touch. Kill the communication completely so that you can be able to learn to be without this person. Because that's what you're doing. Number 2, it depends. How much investment was there in that relationship? Yeah. If you cohabited and there were children, then communication has to be there for the sake of the children. Because you need to co-parent. Those kids did not ask for this relationship. They did not even ask for the breakup. So now that it has happened, those children's lives must almost remain the same. So that is now when I will encourage keeping in touch, to get to know how the children are doing, to maintain the children, to also take your part, whoever left, to be in the lives of these children. That is the only time I would allow that. But if it is a breakup, it was boyfriend, girlfriend, we are no longer together, do not keep in touch. It will not help you. That's my thought.
Na ile yenye, there's a situation where you find that there was that connection. Manze, we used to do something together. Maybe we invested together. Hapa na pale. Keeping in touch, kuongea ukweli.
Now, you see...
Because I've interacted with a young couple when waliachana. Sijui kama nimesema pote a young couple when waliachana, but waliachana. But when they were in a relationship, they had invested together in some businesses and all that. So afterwards, is it possible to tell those people not to keep in touch?
Now, you see, at first you had asked me if they can call you in the morning.
Yes,
How are you doing?
Yeah,
now that's very different from now this.
Yes.
This relationship, not only was it involved romantically, there was also a business. Okay? And here we were relating as business partners, or either you had employed me, or we were doing something together that was income generating. So we must be able to be mature enough to separate issues. And now know we are no longer romantically involved. We are business involved.
Business partners.
Yes. Now, and again, it will be very hard. Because let me tell you, the matters of the heart are not, you can't put them in books. You can't just wake up in the morning, they are gone. It's not a business that imeisha, tumefunga, tumerudishiana pesa. It was matters of the heart. What I would advise is this: if the business had to take the two of you being there, then you must know how to operate. Either I be there and you're not there, or you be there and I'm not there. Just to help us be able to live this separated life, but let the business work. Then it gets to a place where if it becomes too much, because maybe you don't also know the reasons why we separated. Maybe the reasons why we separated are even affecting our performance in this business. Because it hurts. Leaving someone you have been together for so long, there's hurt and there's pain and there is all that. There's an emptiness that is created in someone. And I assure you, Alex, that will affect the business. Because we are not metal, we are not computers. We're just shutting off and moving on. We can't. So I would advise, let's have a way where, not avoiding each other, but let's minimize the interactions, even if it is a business.
Minimizing.
Yes. Then get to a place where if it is not helping the separation, quit. Or sell the business. Or employ someone on my behalf. Because your well-being is more important. Because you don't want to be in a relationship, in a business relationship that is hurting you because of what you had romantically. The business will not perform, will not grow.
Very true.
To be honest, by the way, let's not cheat ourselves that we separated, then now I'm okay, we are cooking cakes together. It doesn't work like that. We are baking cakes together. It won't work, because the customers will still ask you, so will you take it to this? I mean, it will bring you a lot of issues. Mbona mjeleta na yeye, I want to see both of you.
Exactly.
And yet you're not seeing eye to eye. So sometimes be realistic.
Yes.
And separate. If you're mature enough, let me repeat that. If you're mature enough to contain your feelings and emotions and separate issues, then go on. But if you're not, call it quits. Yes.
So how do you reconcile yourself with the fact that the relationship is over?
Okay. How do you reconcile with the fact that...
umeachwa, acha tuseme sana umeachwa, juu affecting watu umeachwa. So the reconciliation, how do you set your mind to know that by the way mse ameenda, now start thinking about your life?
Okay. Now there's something I want to correct you. Hata kama umeachwa, kuna mtu amekuacha. It affects both of you. Different levels, different amount of affect. The effect is different. Number one, I want people to understand this, that when a relationship is no longer there, it's a loss. You've lost something in your life. Remember this person, you gave them your time, your thoughts. This is someone you thought about sometimes more than you did yourself. This is someone you talked to more than you even talked to your own blood relatives. You gave them time, you gave them your love, you were vulnerable with them. You told them things you never thought, you can tell someone else, because you loved them. You are attached to them physically, mentally, socially. Everyone knew you two are together. As in, it was a big deal about it. It was a part of your life. There's a space in your heart this person occupied. You get?
Yeah.
So when this now is no longer there, it's not as easy as we might think. Just move on. It doesn't even matter what the reason is, okay, of the separation. But the fact that now that routine of depending on them, thinking about them, talking to them, sometimes you made decisions together, you saw things together. Now that one is no longer there, number one, to reconcile with yourself you must do something we call accepting. Yes, accepting that my relationship with this person is over. It's a very difficult thing to do, by the way, because most of us will live in denial. We are just saying, but you must accept that what they had for me, what I had for them, they no longer have it.
True.
Maybe I cost it, depending on the reason. But number one, you must accept. Number two, you must work towards something we call closure. But how do you work towards it? You work towards it by asking and understanding the reason for the separation or breakup. There is nothing as painful, Alex, being left and you don't know why. I've had a girl who came to me and told me, my partner left, dropped me. So I asked her why. She said, I don't know, he's not moved on with anyone, but he just left me. It is the most painful thing because you don't know why you left. Because of your body? Was it how you talked? Was it something you didn't do? Was it something you did? It's such a painful, confusing situation. The best thing is to be at the same level, both of you. In fact, seek a meeting with that particular person and ask them, by the way, it's okay, we've separated. Exactly, we are separating because of, let them know. Please, kindly. And those ones who are planning to separate with someone or to break up with someone, let them know the reason. And sometimes we always feel, if I tell them this is the reason, it will hurt them. But it is better. I know I was left because I'm plump, or I was left because I am lazy, or I was left because I talk too much, or maybe I didn't measure up to his standards, or maybe his mother hated me, that's why he's left me, okay? Let me give you a small story. I was dealing with a lady who was actually getting into depression because she couldn't understand why her husband just left her. I don't know if it was a husband or someone they were living together. And she was really in pain. Her pain was not that he has left. Her pain was she couldn't understand why. Because she said, I was very good to this person. I was submissive. I loved him. I cared. Their family loved me. But he just left. So I told her, let's seek a meeting with this guy. So the guy come. And he came very, very willing. So we sit him down and we ask him exactly what happened. He said, you know what? This is one of the best ladies I've ever had in my life. She's very good. She's very kind. But I couldn't stand her filth and dirtiness. And we were all shocked. And the lady thought, but you never complained.
Yeah.
You never mentioned I was dirty, I was disorganized. Exactly. I thought you... But the guy was enduring that. And he couldn't bring himself to tell him that. He could only just pack and go. So sometimes it is important to tell someone that. The reason why, Alex, I'm asking someone to be told that is so that, as I've said, get into closure and say, okay, now I know. This is why I was left. I was left maybe because he's found someone else. I've been left because his ex came back. There are all those reasons. But now, if you're left because of something maybe you did, this is a third thing. Learn from what that thing has cost you the separation. Learn from it. In other words, take responsibility. Don't blame, Oh, it is the other woman who came. It is... learn from whatever reasons you've been given. Take responsibility. Don't shift blame.
Yes.
Because if you shift blame, the other thing it does to you, it prolongs your healing.
Yes.
Because you keep on saying, I can't heal because it is not me.
Yeah.
It is them.
Yeah.
It is them who made me shout. It is them who made me become hostile. It is them. But if you take responsibility, tell yourself, next time I get an opportunity to get in another relationship, these are the things I'll avoid. These are the things I'll look at. These are the red flags I will notice. So you learn from your failure. But it can only come if you're honestly discussing the reason for the separation so that you can get into closure. The fourth thing, forgive yourself. If for sure you are the cause, and you listen to some people and you realize, by then you should have been there. Forgive yourself. Just say, you know what, I took them for granted.
Yes.
I thought they wouldn't leave, but now they've left, and I'm feeling bad about it.
Being honest with yourself.
Yes,
actually,
be honest with yourself and forgive yourself.
Yes.
I think that is those are the best ways I can share to just reconcile with the whole situation. But the first thing, accept. There's a story in the Bible, I always confuse where, by the story of David. There's a time David's baby was sick, the baby he got with Bathsheba.
Yeah.
And I like how he behaved during that time. The baby was so sick, and he prayed for the baby, and he was crying, and he wasn't eating, and he wasn't putting on his clothes. Even the servants could talk and say, Bana, this guy, he's so sad about this situation. Then finally the baby died. And when the baby died, David woke up and said, give me food. He showered and put lotion on himself and put on clothes and went. And the servants were asking, and they were saying, when the baby was sick, he behaved like that. When the baby now has died, we expect even, I'm paraphrasing, we expect him to be even worse.
Yes.
But now he's walking. And David overheard them and told them, listen, I was praying to a God who was able to heal my baby, but he has chosen not to. So why should I sit here and cry? Sometimes you do so much for a relationship. You give it all. You do exactly what they've asked you to do. You give it your all. You are faithful. You are on time. You dress up. You cooperate. But you're still left. And sometimes I tell myself, if you're in a relationship, give it your all, so that in case it goes bad, you will say, you know what? I did my best.
Exactly.
So when that happens, don't stick there. Wake up like David. Put on lotion. And tell God, you know what? I did my best. But they still chose someone else over me, or they still chose to leave me. And be okay with that. So accept. This thing has gone. I really wanted it to stay, but it's gone. And I'll be okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you draw the line between, we had discussed this before we started shooting, between isolation and taking a time off. There's that person who says that I don't want to see anyone, I don't want to be with people and all that, let me just take time, let me take myself out, take care of myself and all that.
Yes.
And then again also, there's a thin line between that and isolation. Unajieka, unajifungia, people don't know where you are, you're not taking a shower, you're not doing anything, you are depressed and all that. So how do you draw a line between
Yes. It's actually interesting from what we've talked about earlier.
Yes.
If you get the closure right, it will inform how you behave.
Yeah.
If you get the closure, the sense that you realize, I am to blame.
Yes.
You take responsibility. Even when you're taking time out and just saying, you know what, I don't want to be in another relationship now. I am still struggling to come out of that one. You will interact with people. You will go for camps. You will go for hikes. You will go for bashes. You will go for birthdays. You will come for church service. But inside your heart, I had this and it went, but it's okay to be with people. That is if you reconcile with the closure well. The only reason you start to withdraw from people and become hateful and become bitter and become now what you're calling depressed is when you do not understand and when you refuse to accept what has happened. When you start forcing issues, this person should have remained in my life. Why did they leave me? How can I be left? This is the fourth time I'm being left. So you start fighting with it instead of accepting it. Exactly. And you're like 23. It's only that your first relationship was when you were 17. So it looks like you've been left so many times. I mean, the best thing is to accept. And let me tell you, Alex, if acceptance is a powerful thing, if our young generation can understand that. And you see, there's a difference of accepting and surrendering. You're not surrendering and you're not accepting and saying, okay, fine, it's not that attitude. It's the attitude of saying, I enjoyed this thing while it lasted. I gave it my all. I even prayed about it, but this was not it. so I'm okay. So let me hang out. Let me even see other people in relationships and be happy for them. Because now that will be the challenge. You'll see people and you say, it's just a matter of time. You'll be left like me. That shouldn't be the attitude. if you just be happy for them, because maybe for them it is working. For you it didn't. And it's okay.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge will be when that other person now gets someone and you're still hanging around here in church, coming for meetings and going for home sales.
There's a scenario that unapata there's a couple that amekuwa kitembea now, maybe for example, story ya guidance and all that.
Yeah.
Then things didn't work out. They separate. Then sasa huyu ataki niongeleshe huyu ama ni maintain case akona shida yote. Juu anaona ni kama niko against. Na huyu pia ataki niongeleshe huyu. So he normally says that mimi I'll be a pastor to everyone. Nyinyi mjipange, but I'll be a pastor to everyone. So I'm just connecting it to what you are saying.
It's very important to know exactly what happened.
Yes.
And be able to accept it. Don't deny it.
Exactly.
Just accept it. Then now it will help you to even interact with people well. Now there's a difference between taking a time out of relationships, but you're still within people. You're still happy with people. You're still in their, you're even in their committee, the wedding. You're even still, you're still enjoying that people are happy. That is time out. That is healthy. Then there is that one of isolation. You don't even come to church anymore because people will ask you too many questions. Exactly what happened to me. And then you guys were tight. So you isolate yourself from that because you have not accepted and you're not okay and you're not ready yet to actually explain. And it's still hurting you too much. It is understandable. But it gets to a point where now you withdraw completely. You're not talking to us. You're not answering our calls. You're not even coming. Now you're not eating. You're just withdrawn.
Yes.
Now that's a danger zone.
Yeah.
We allow you to isolate yourself for some time because of many questions. But when now you're withdrawing, you can actually be with us here, but you're not with us, which is a very dangerous thing. Because now you're starting to turn the whole thing against yourself, within yourself. You're starting to tell yourself, I'm not good enough. I'll never be loved. If I was left with this person, who else would love me? This was it for me. It's done. I will never. So you start telling yourself those things. You fill yourself with those things. And let me tell you, if there's someone the devil enjoys, is someone who is broken. And he'll tell you exactly. Even the way you've put on weight. And that time you've only added like a kilo or something. You see the way how ugly you are. He left you for so and so. And if you allow the devil, he will fill you with all that. You will withdraw yourself so much and enter into something we call bitterness. And you'll become so bitter that you will not attract anyone near you. Everyone will be coming near you and you resent them. Or they resent you because of the attitude you have put on yourself. Because of simply not accepting that this was a failure in my life, that I'm supposed to learn from and grow strong into it and even teach someone else and become better. It was not supposed to destroy me. But now you're taking it to a level where it is now becoming destructive.
Something else, yeah.
And actually what you're doing to yourself is you're giving the other person power. They'll actually tell people, you see, that's why I left her. Look at how dramatic she is. Look at what she is now. And actually people will say, by the way. Yet it was not like that. It was just that you guys agreed to disagree. But now you've taken it too far because you lived in denial. Pushed it into bitterness. So accept. Then, even if it's time out or isolation, you're isolating yourself for the sake of your reputation, not to answer too many questions.
Yeah.
And also you're just taking your time out to learn, to heal, and to just grow and become a better person and work on yourself. But when you withdraw, now that's a problem. It's not healthy. Yeah.
There's something that you wanted to talk about, but nikaku interrupt. When your ex finds somebody,
yes,
how do you handle that situation? Like, okay, mliachana, ex wako asha move on.
Yeah.
Na njia ingine yenye
Okay,
maybe uko expect.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that situation? Do you start, especially to those people who have this habit of stalking social media, wajaribu kufuatilia moves za their ex, pali wako and nini and all vitu kama hizo. How do you handle that situation?
Now, let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me just say this. Relationships, romantic relationships, are not for the faint-hearted. Let's just say that. First. Okay?
The KDF.
Please. If you're going to get yourself involved with another human being
Yes.
because of a simple feeling, which
Yeah.
was love,
Yeah.
please, it is a tough thing.
Yeah.
It actually involves, you need God in this. It's a life, sometimes it's a life and death thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, when you separate, believe me, both of you are going to move on. And I want us to change this notion. Moving on is not getting into another relationship. Moving on is living life without this person.
Yeah.
Is waking up tomorrow and going to work.
But
That is moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on, you know, some people meet me, for example. Have you moved on? I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not where I was 13 years ago. I've moved on. They're telling me, no, you've not moved on. You're not married. Thinking, I don't have to get into another relationship to show you I moved on. Okay? Moving on is everyone will move on. Because the relationship didn't kill you. You are still alive. You still have a life. You still have a passion. You still have a career. You still have you. So you must go on. So if you're going on will involve another new relationship, it is okay. If it happens to your ex first, before you, it should be okay. What were you expecting? You're not the only one that they were supposed to date.
very true.
You know?
Very true.
You were part of their life, yes, for that season, and it ended. So the other season has come earlier than yours. It should be okay. You should actually be. Do not interfere. Do not stalk them. That shows you're not even accepting the fact that you've been left. It shows you're still hung up on that.
Yeah.
So the best thing is let them be, because even for you, life will happen. You will also get to that new other season.
Yeah.
And how would you expect him to behave? Would you want him to still stalk you and to ask you questions? And you wouldn't want that. So be to that person what you would want an ex to be to you.
Yeah.
Be a brilliant ex. Because whatever goes out tends to come back.
Kuwa ex wa maana.
Yes, please. Kuwa ex mzuri.
Bitterness. Bitterness ni kitu inatusumbua. Inasumbua sisi sana. Inatusumbua sisi wote. In one or another. Everyone has a past.
Yes.
And deliverance is a process.
Yes.
It's a process. And sometimes actually inakuangania lifetime process.
Yes.
So this person, separation, breakup, bitterness, ameshikilia bitterness. Ujamaa aliniacha, sijui ati I'm too spiritual. Maybe nilikata kumpatia cookie. All those things, bitterness and all that. How do you save yourself from bitterness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing we must mention when relationships are mentioned is expectation.
Expectations.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this guy told me, I've actually had a guy who told me he will be with me forever, you know? And so you hold on to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know. And then there are so many other things we tell one another when we are in love. We say, you are the best. You know? You are my only one.
Asisa hizo wako yeye ndo the only one. Sasa
Yeah, that's what you said. And you know, you were saying it as a promise.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to remain like that. So can you imagine you've told me that I have dropped everyone else. I have maintained you because you have said I am the best. I am the only one. You are my love. All those things. And for women, we believe them. You know? And you as a man, as you're saying it, I think you're not just saying empty words. You're saying it to affirm and to endorse this thing. Then I've given you time. For 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Then the 4th year you come and tell me you're not the one. So I'm thinking, I have not changed.
Yeah.
I have given you 4 years of my life.
Yeah.
So how?
Nilifanyika.
What has changed?
Exactly.
So you try and tell me
Yeah, yeah.
it is because of this and this, the closure thing I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I tell myself, oh, okay. But I'm wondering, why have you noticed that 4 years later? Why couldn't you have noticed the first 2 months? But now I couldn't get up for 4 years. Then as an individual, I start thinking of the opportunities I've missed. There's a time I was to go to the States. I couldn't go because there's a time I was to get a job in Marsabit. There's a time I was to, even my other person came, I said, no, I'm in a relationship. So I start looking at the things I've invested. And sometimes they're genuine. There are things I have done. And you see, we say love sometimes is foolish. You've even disagreed with your mother because of this particular person. You have messed up so many relationships for this. Because he said, I am the only one. Then now it's gone. So what am I supposed to do? Now this is what you're supposed to do before you instead of bitterness. You have taught yourself to love this person. Yes, we say love at first sight. I don't believe in those. Love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. Love is a choice. That's what I know. Crushes are at first sight. But love, genuine love that God gives is a choice. And you teach yourself to love Alex. You teach yourself to love him the way he is. The way he talks, you love that. You learn over the years to do that. Now, the best way not to get yourself into bitterness when that life has ended, number one, you must relearn to love them. Now, how do you relearn to love someone? You don't replace love with hate. Because now if you hate them, you get into bitterness. But now this person, they used to preoccupy your life. I know of couples who talk every evening for 2 hours, for 3 hours. No wonder Safaricom and the rest have so many ways of making guys communicate for long hours. Because of such. So this is a person who used to do that in your life every single day. Now that one is no longer there. So how do I live like that? So you relearn. You replace that. Because they have left a vacuum, not an emptiness. There's a difference. When you leave a vacuum, it can be filled by someone else or by something else. But an emptiness is bigger, is deeper, is... So this is just a vacuum, please, or a gap. Let's put it like that. Which can be filled and be filled with something else. Not someone else, for starters. Okay? So those days, those things that you used to do together, you used to think together, you used to pray together, now it's no longer there. So you now must teach yourself, how do I now do this life without this particular person?
You just remove the person from the picture.
Yes. Do you know one thing you need to do? You remember how you used to be 4 years before. That's one best solution. What did you used to do? You used to
When
sing in the choir. Yes. I used to go home every evening. On weekends, I would go help my mom cook chapatis.
Yes.
Start doing those things to replace that vacuum. Start doing the things you used to do when you were single. You loved swimming. That was your hobby. You loved going to children's homes. But now you replaced that with dates. Those dates are not there anymore. Go back to what you used to do as a single person. Because you had a life then. You know, sometimes we treat relationships as life. You can't even remember who your mother was. You don't even go to Shago anymore. Now go back. Start again. Because I believe life is it is a chance. And when you mess this, God is very gracious. He gives you an opportunity to start again. And that is why we have new days every morning. It's a new day today. Even if we had another Wednesday, this is new. It has a different date. It has a different climate. It's new. The same way with life. Start that life again. You know, if you used to do things in church and you were too involved, go back to that. You must replace that with something positive. As you teach yourself to relearn this person, then someone will tell you, I miss you. I miss them so much. It is true. And it should be like that. Don't assume that you're missing. You do. Because they had a part in your life. Their voice was always in your head. You do something small, you call them. You see someone falling in town, you call them. But now you can't. You know? So how do I now live without that? Number one, you must understand you are well able to live life without that person. Please never think that you're not able. Because you are. You met them at some point in your life and you are still living. So what makes you think now you're crippled? You know? So relearn to love them in a polite way. You invested for so many years. It can't end next week. You have to learn. And the moments when it is so tough and you really want to call them, call someone else. Call Alex. Call a girlfriend. Call a colleague. And just say, I really miss this guy. But I'll be okay. Yeah. Replace it with reading an interesting book.
Yeah.
Don't go watching romantic movies. It will not help you.
Na kukuwa idol.
Na kukaa hapo na kumfikiria na kumzubailia. It will hurt you.
Yeah.
And looking and stalking them on Facebook. That doesn't help you. Because you will see them posting a photo you never knew.
Exactly.
Amefurahi, then you start getting. Na kumbe ni picha ya kitambo before atakukute.
Yeah.
So you start thinking, oh, he's happy and me I'm not.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You be sure you can be able to live without them. And that is why we say when you get into a relationship, do not lose yourself. Let me give a very small example. Someone taught me. He said there was a farm one day and there was a chicken and a pig, and they were told, you guys must support the breakfast. You must give us something for breakfast today. So the hen said, I'm okay, I'll give you an egg. I'll lay an egg and I'll give you, and even if you want another one tomorrow, I'll still lay an egg. The pig said, an egg. Me, I'll give bacon, I'll give sausages. But guess what? He lost his life for that breakfast. So he gave the best, but was not there anymore tomorrow to give more bacon or sausages. So let's be the hen. Just give what you're able.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, just lay an egg for today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you can still be able to.
Yes.
So ladies and gents, those ones who have been left, we are capable of being chicken.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself with this thing. You are able to make it.
Mnasikia kuku.
Yeah. Please don't call people chicken. Yeah.
Sawa. Last question.
Yes.
And then we finish. When is it advisable to reunite with your ex? Unajua kuna mtu anaweza kaa tu aseme, ni aje tumeongea, tumeona hivi na hivi na hivi. I think I can give that person another chance. I think I can give her another chance. When is it advisable? In which circumstance is that act advisable?
Okay.
Yeah.
I can only say that it is advisable when forgiveness has happened. Real forgiveness. Depending on what caused the separation again. If both your hearts are now able to do this thing again and be able to acknowledge that this is the cause of why we got here. Now we are going to do things differently. Then maybe you're ready for that. But, okay, I don't know if I should say this on...
Sama.
Do you know I believe people don't change? So what happens is, you're still the same person. You still make the same mistakes. You'll still shout at me. You'll still be stingy. You'll still be... The things that made us separate, you'll still have them.
How? Now I'm talking about it. You know, change happens.
Where? Okay. What happens is, now I see the things that you are different. Now that's what we call change.
Yes.
But you do not change. Your personality doesn't change. If you're someone who is a phlegmatic, you will forever not talk to me. You will just be boring. Now I'll see you from that and I'll understand. This guy is an introvert. It's not that he's keeping secrets. You now come back with a different understanding. Now, when you're ready now to be in that position, and you have walked with someone, see, tumetoka tu from the blues, huku na huku mkakutana kwa matatu, mkapendana tena. Not that kind of reconciliation. It is that one where you have been able to walk with mentors, especially if you're in a Christian place.
Yes.
Walk with someone who understands what it is to be together. Not like a girlfriend of yours at your workplace. She doesn't even have a relationship. Now she tells you, no, I think you guys are ready. Make it intentional, because relationships are serious. They are covenants. God takes them seriously. So walk with someone before you come together, you reunite. Get to understand this is exactly what caused this. And what caused this made me feel like this about you. But now I'm seeing you from a different perspective. Now you're understanding where I'm coming from. That is why I used to react this way. In other words, you can only reunite if the understanding and the knowledge around both of you is at the same level. Because if you don't, the same thing will repeat itself. Yeah. Because you're the same people coming back together. There's nothing new.
Nothing new.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it should be an understanding that is now different. Now we understand. And you're not coming back because, hey, nilikuwa nimemlose. See your type. Now I'll do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'll give my body.
Yes.
No. That is the worst attitude you can get into a relationship with, because after you've done that,
Yeah. Nikanika umeponea.
No. Don't be in a relationship at someone's mercies.
Yes.
Be in a relationship because of understanding.
Very true.
And you're feeling this person was actually important in my life. They actually made sense in my life. And you understand the same. The only thing is we couldn't agree on this and this.
Yeah.
But now I have a different understanding. I'm able now to stick with them. Okay. Do you know I give timelines, apparently? If you're separated, give yourself 6 months. Least minimum.
Yeah.
6 months to 1 year. Because time tells.
Yeah. Time is a healer.
Yeah. Not necessarily.
There's a song that says time is a healer.
Actually, I actually refuse that. I say God is a healer.
Yeah.
But time gives you, the dust settles. You start living without them. You now start realizing, oh, this is the gap they used to feel. And they say, I don't know how true this is. I read it on the internet. I don't believe a lot of things in the internet. But it says that women love in your presence and men love in your absence. I don't know if that's true.
The research. Let me go and research.
So sometimes when you separate, that is when you realize, I need this person.
Yeah, very true.
I need them.
Yeah.
So you don't succumb to whatever they want.
Yeah.
Come back with conditions. You come back and this is how we live. I come back and this is how we'll agree. So are we in agreement? So we come up with an agreement and we live according to it. But with someone helping you guys. Because the first time you tried the two of you, you ended up separated. This time, don't do things the same way. It will end up the same way. Have someone who can guide and help. Yes. So reconciliation is there only if understanding has happened.
Hakuna mambo ya rebound. Do they work actually, rebounds?
Do you know, unfortunately, rebounds are manipulative and very selfish. Because this person who is getting into this relationship, number one, they are using that person. You're very innocent. You've just gotten a girlfriend. You don't know where she's come from. Yeah. Kumbe, she's doing this to heal, to make herself feel, I'm still okay. So she's relating to you, but it is Alex in her head. Yeah. Yet this is Bonnie. Abisa. Yeah. That's what a rebound is. Yeah, so she's not even moved on. She's just trying to prove, you thought I wouldn't get someone. This is it. So she's not even there. She's using you, number one.
By the life yako yote show na a successful rebound?
No, apparently. Yes. I haven't seen one.
So maybe you have seen, because I've never seen actually.
Because what happens, this person who is now being dated as the rebound themselves, they actually realize I'm a victim. This thing is not even genuine. You're doing this to cover up pain. Then that is when now you start realizing there's a lot of transfers from that other relationship to this one. There's a lot of comparison. And that is what kills rebound. Because now you're comparing me with the other person. Because you haven't dealt with that in the other relationship. So you've just come here. It's actually the way it sounds. It's a rebound. You're just bouncing back here. Not really committed in this. You're just trying to get unafunika a rotten wound with an elastoplast. So we are still seeing the smell. We are still seeing the pus oozing out. But unaambia watu nimefunga na bandage. I mean, no, you're rotting inside. Deal with it first. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mavlin, for this wonderful time. Manze, we've learned a lot. Yeah. And this is a topic that we can talk. But I know, obviously, tutakuwa na part 2, so that we can discuss more and help the children of God.
Amen.
Nasikia mnatuitanga sons of Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Sawa. Thank you so much. What's wanaweza kupata wapi by the way? You're a counselor, a professional counselor.
Yes.
You charge for counseling services, but affordable. Nipo tuseme hivyo. Yes. Because I believe counseling is a very much needed career and services. Na watu pia wacha kuzoea bure. Yeah. Hata kama ni mtu kama kwambia niko na 200 pekee nisaidie na hapa na hapa. So you have to mention that you charge.
Yes,
but
I charge,
affordable rates.
Of course. Yeah. Of course I charge.
Yes.
The best place to get me is I'll give you my phone number.
You can just give it here.
Yes, my number is 0721 429959.
07
21 42 9959.
Sawa sawa.
Yes, that's
Unapeananga appointment kwa ofisi ama pale mtu yuko?
Sasa hapo ukinipigia tutapangana. I can even come where you are.
Not a problem.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being true to what you do, for being true to and committed actually to share the knowledge that you have based on your experiences. May God bless you.
Asante.
Na familia yako bana tunaipenda sana.
Amen.
Wabarikiwe sana sana sana. This has been the Truth on Podcast. My name is Alex Kimina, and as usual, this is Nakongani Conversations at Transformation. And so when you get to listen to this message, please share it with a friend. Share it with a family member. Share it with anyone that unaona anaweza saidika na hii message, and after all, and at the end of the day, utasaidika na pia atasaidika. Until next time, until the next episode, God bless you and God bless yours. Tuonane.